All right, welcome to another episode of Vincent Koo Live. This is the Alliance Movement. The Alliance Movement is the real estate industry's movement to collaborate, for us all to align, for us all to unify. See, why try to figure this all out independently? Why compete with each other under a franchise? We are one global agent-owned brokerage. Today I have
big fire.
One big fire, yes. Today I have the honor, the privilege of announcing our newest partner, Alex Nantes from the Nantes Team in Sarasota, Florida. Alex, welcome. Congratulations for joining EXP Realty.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. You know what? You had your really nice intro. Here's my intro.
Very nice.
That's my my motivation every morning when I wake up. I just play that just quick little intro for me, and we get the day started, man.
I love it.
Hey, I want to thank you, and I am honored seriously to be part of EXP. It was not a difficult transition, but it was a lot of many sleepless nights. Let's put it that way. I had the EXP insomnia, man.
Yes.
It's just the last 30 days have been like no other. I've been doing this so many years. I feel like a kid again. I feel like I just got my real estate license last week. You know, I've got this motivation. I got my fire, my spark back. Not that I ever lost it, but there's more to it. Knowing that I'm aligned with people like you, and there's so many heavy hitters.
Alex, how long have you been in real estate?
Oh man, Vincent, we go back, man. I mean, this is like a full circle for you and I.
Yeah.
I moved down to Florida back in 2004. I was with a small brokerage, a broker owner, a broker associate, and myself, and I was there for 2 years. And I remember my mother met you in the elevator in New York City because you were living in the same building as her, right?
Yes.
And I was like, Mom, whoever you meet in New York, you got to give them my card. So of course she sees you, she gives you a card, has no idea you're a freaking broker from EXP Realty. And
yeah, I had my pin on, so it's funny.
Yeah.
It's funny. She gave me her card and she's like, you got to talk to my son. He's really sharp. And so I gave you a call. I said, let's see if this guy's really sharp, right? And we hit it off right away.
We sure did, man.
And it's funny because at that time, I introduced you to the brokerage that I was with. Down in Florida, they had a branch.
Yes.
And you ended up joining, right?
I did. I ended up, I joined EXP Realty down in Orlando, Florida, and it was great. It was a great business model. It was like, you got to learn how to crawl before you walk, and you got to know how to walk before you run, right? So I started my business with the small mom and pop real estate company, moved on to a franchise at EXP. You introduced me to them, and it was great. Then, of course, the market crashes. 2007, 2008 rolls around, and I almost lost the shirt off my back, man. It was just too good to be true. I was rocking and rolling, and unfortunately, I had moved back to New York. I let the smoke settle. I kind of put my real estate license on hold. I got a 9-to-5 job, and I got that itch again, man. It's it was in my blood to do what I do right now, right? Fast forward. I end up getting that itch, and I was, like I said, I was working a 9-to-5 job, and I got my real estate license in New York. Then I met with you again. I say, hey, Vincent, man, I'm thinking of getting my license again. You're right up the block from where I was living in Queens, New York. I want to join your brokerage, and it was great, right? For like 2 years, man.
Yeah. So we did a lot of deals together.
We did a lot of deals together, man. That was awesome. Deals from Long Island to Queens. I mean, I got a taste of New York City real estate. I loved it, man.
And then you leave us.
And, life happens, right? I get married. I got married. I have 2 wonderful children, 2 boys. And, my wife's family lives in Florida. So we decided to make the move again, come back down to Florida, right? I guess what I'm trying to tell you about this little story I'm about to share with you is my intuition. My intuition is my spidey sense, man. It never fails me, right? It's like my gut feeling. And brother, I was so comfortable. I had a great paying job, man. I had my real estate license. I was doing that on the side. I was killing it, right? But there was just, I don't know, man. There was something more, of course, life happens. We decided to move down to Florida. But here it is, man. It's almost kind of like what I did with the EXP, right? I left my comfort zone, right? I left my comfort zone. I was comfortable in New York. It was great. But moving down to Florida, it was a challenge because I had to start brand new. I didn't have a job when I came down here, man. I sold my apartment in New York, lived off of that, and I told my wife, call me crazy, but I'll tell you what, I will never, ever go back to my 9-to-5 gig because it's just not me. It's for some people, it's just not for me. And I was in a new market, man. I was in Southwest Florida. I was living in Punta Gorda. Had no idea about the demographics, no idea about the market, but I said to myself, I committed, right? I committed that I am going to do this full time. Full time, that's it. No excuses, no side job, nothing. Real estate full time. This was back in 2013, right? Jesus, 7 years ago, man. You believe this?
Yeah.
And I joined Century 21. Amazing broker, amazing people I met, and I started from scratch. Fast forward 2 years later, I was awarded the Ruby Award at Century 21. I was, multi-million-dollar producer at Century 21. I said, it's a mindset, right? You got to have the right mindset. And I said, Karen, I swear, man, I am going to find $1 million listing on the beach, and we're going to sell waterfront properties. Sure enough, months later happened. It manifested, and $3 million, multi-million-dollar, a multi-family house. I listed it, I sold it, and it was a great ride with Century 21, man. It really was.
Most recently, though, you came from 100% company, right?
Yes, sir. So fast forward after that, I moved to Sarasota, and I joined 100% brokerage. So I got a taste of franchise living, and I got a great taste of 100% brokerage, right? Which, of course, how can you beat that, right? 100% brokerage, man. The broker I worked with was amazing. The people I worked with were fantastic. It was a beautiful family, and I was a lifer. So this is it. What am I going to do? This is it, 100%. But fast forward 3 years later, there was something missing, right? I think I outgrew my platform. I felt comfortable. And why I told you that story from New York to Florida, from Florida to Sarasota, is I think that's my personality. When I feel, and it's not a bad thing, when you feel too comfortable where you're at, you gotta shake that tree out. You gotta rattle yourself inside and accept new challenges, man. That's life, right? You gotta grow. And that's where I was at. I was at 100% brokerage, and COVID-19 happened, made me realize a lot of things, put a lot of things into perspective. Do I really need an office right now? Do I need to be paying that much money? A monthly fee? Is there more out there?
What's more than 100%, Alex?
What's that?
What's more than 100%?
There's this. You got 100%, but there's this collaboration, right? This synergy alignment that surpasses this 100%, right?
Well, I know what you're looking to do. Listen, you had a team.
Yes.
Okay? Your team was doing very well, but there's always a level up, right?
Level up, man. Absolutely.
So in your research, we put you in front of a few people.
Oh,
right?
Yeah, I got to owe it to you, Vincent. If it wasn't for you, you've introduced me to some heavy hitters in the industry that I would never, ever have the opportunity in meeting if I just stayed where I was at. For example, I've met Chuck Fazio, right? Chuck Fazio from Arizona, 100% brokerage, 900 plus agent. I mean, the guy's a rock star, right? And before we met him on a Zoom call, I saw him on a podcast through Joshua Smith. And this guy was like, blew my mind, right? I was like, gee, man, this guy's insane. But there was one thing he really struck with me. It was a chord, right? He's got a saying that iron sharpens iron. And it's kind of like that EXP movement, this EXP collaboration. We all sharpen each other. We all are collaborating each other. And And for me, that was powerful. That right there is better, more than 100% to answer your question.
Yeah.
You know,
and it wasn't just Chuck, right?
it wasn't Chuck, man. You know, it was Chuck that I met that, you know, one Zoom call with him. Veronica Figueroa from Orlando, right? She was named the #1 innovative team by Inman, right? So I'm on the East Coast. Now, transport myself to the West Coast. I meet some heavy hitters like Kyle Whistle, #1 team in San Diego.
Yeah.
Jeremy Carson. Who else was there? And then this is funny, man. You know, it's like when you're about to buy a new car, like you're about to buy a Mercedes, right? or whatever. You know, I just threw that out there, right? All of a sudden, you start seeing Mercedes all over the place, right?
Yeah.
Like, have I not noticed this before? And that's what started happening, Vincent. Like, you put me in front of these people, and all of a sudden, I'm researching on Google, and I'm researching on YouTube, and I'm seeing all these YouTubes of why people left franchises like Keller Williams, Coleman Bank, I mean, the list goes on, to join the EXP movement, right? And you, my friend, were a big influencer because, you know, you owning, 3 franchises in New York City with Exit a year ago, decided to make the move. That made me scratch my head, right? And in back of me, it was this little EXP thing. I was like, I don't even know what that is, right? It's this avatar world, you know, people walking around, and there's no office. It's a cloud-based brokerage. I had no idea what that meant until I picked your brain. You put me in front of some people. I did my own research, and you know, this wasn't an overnight decision, Vincent. This was like a good couple of months, you know.
Yeah, you did some research.
I did my research, man, and this is what I was getting at. There were people out there that are social media influencers, right? Big time influencers out there that I noticed made the move. Brian Casella from California makes the move. Ricky Caruth, Alabama, makes the move. Go Real Estate from Michigan makes the move. I'm going, am I missing out on something here? Mm-hmm. And you broke it down to me, and it's that saying, right? Once you see it, it's really hard to unsee it.
Yeah.
You got me hooked, man. You had me at hello.
So what it's like 30 days for you already?
30 days already. 30 days, and it feels longer.
How was the transition?
Well, listen, it's not all rainbows and butterflies, right? You know, the first week I was on, remember I called you, I was like, Jesus Christ, I'm overwhelmed. You want me to, you know, talk to people about EXP and learn the new technology, the KV Core, the Sky Slope, learning this whole EXP world, you know, creating a little avatar for myself. And it's funny because when I first logged on, you know, my kid, one of my sons comes in, he goes, "Oh, hey, Dad is playing Roblox." I was like, no, it's not Roblox. It's the company that I'm working with, right? It's EXP. But man, the technology, it was overwhelming the first week, but like everything, and everything new is a challenge, right? And then little by little, day by day, did my research, did my homework, met some people that helped me out. And this was the beautiful thing about EXP. You join EXP and I'm thinking, okay, it's a cloud-based, right? I'm solo. You know, people are going to ghost on me. What do I do now? There's so much misconception out there, Vincent, that, okay, here's for instance, right? I get assigned a concierge person for my first year. Any questions I have, anything I need to know about EXP, they're there for me, okay? My Florida broker that's here, every state has a Florida broker. I think we have 4 or 5 of them, right? Managing brokers. He's literally 30 minutes from me, right? So this whole misconception that we don't have an office, now we do, right? And there is somebody that I can go and knock on their door if I need to, but you know, for the most part, we're such a high-tech company that there's no need for that, man. I go onto EXP World. This blew my mind, man. You know, like I said, it was this little avatar, and they've got all these departments set up. Like you're in this massive 3D World campus. You got the finance department. You got these auditoriums. You got, you know, my state brokerage office. I log in there, and I'm testing this out, and I see this avatar, my broker, right? Andrew Shaw, right?
Yeah, awesome guy.
He's an awesome guy, man. He's sitting behind his desk, and me and my team member, right? I was like, let's test this out. This is for real, man, because they're talking about, you know, everything's instant, right? I go into this room. I hit a little button, close the door behind me. I go, hit a little button on my screen, the microphone. I go, "Hey, Andrew, it's Alex and Jake. We just joined EXP. Want to introduce ourselves?" And it's just like voice of God was speaking to me out of nowhere. This voice comes out. He goes, "Hey, Alex, Jake," and it was just like having a conversation like you and I are right now.
Right.
You know, like a phone call, like literally a button away. So there's no emailing someone, waiting a couple of hours for them to get back to me. It's nothing like that. I mean, this is instant instant information and instant contact, man. You always have somebody to help, to give you a helping hand, right?
Right. You almost have to try before you buy too, right? Because we were able to get you into the world just to kind of check things out, ask questions, talk to representatives. How am I going to move my team over? All that stuff.
That's right. That's right. And they were so helpful. They were so helpful. Like, you know, all right, this is what you have to do. Boom, boom, boom. You know, sending me emails. I mean, I was bombarded with emails, right? With everything from marketing and getting my whole package set up and introducing to people, right? But you know, the Verbella, who owns EXP, well, that we own Verbella, and it's part of the EXP world, right? That one technology blew my mind away. That's just one. There's a list of other things that's at EXP. Okay, for instance, I had an insane CRM system before moving in here. I was paying a couple of $100 for that, right? For $85 a month, I get a platform called KV Core, okay, that apparently people are paying. You can pay $700 to $1,500 a month. I mean, it's insane, right? We get that, right? $85. Right there, I saw that I started saving money. You have another platform called The Workplace, right? It's like a Facebook integration. And that's where you talk about culture, man. Everybody's in the workplace. Everybody.
30,000 people in there.
30,000.
Probably one of the largest users of Facebook Workplace in the world right now.
Yes. Yeah. Is that insane? Is that crazy? And that's just the beginning.
I just love it because I'm able to communicate with any of the 30,000 via chat, which, you know, for me works a lot better than email, right?
100%. I mean, you put me in front of some folks, you know, our first deal that my team member, Jake Allen, had, right? You know, we were like, all right, what do we do? You know, how do we get paid, right?
Right.
He actually closed yesterday, okay? Right. And there was a check waiting for him at the title company.
Really?
For his name, done. Took a picture, deposited, less than an hour, he had money in his account.
Wow.
You know, that's pretty impressive, man. To be this cloud-based company without a brick and mortar and to have that like that, that's very impressive, man. You know, going back to the workplace, any questions I have, you know, anything that I want to, you know, presentations or going after physicals or what do you do for your team? You know, how do you structure your team? You know, talking to some team leaders and team industry folks out there, I get all this feedback, which is all these golden nuggets, man. It was just so powerful, you know, and that's what I was kind of missing in my last brokerage. You know, I outgrew that platform. You know, it was an amazing ride, but imagine this. So you have one broker, right, and many others, right, handful of others in this bubble, right, that are great at what they do. We had cream of the crop joining that, my last brokerage, right? Cream of the crop from everywhere joining that. But then coming and doing a switch to EXP, it's like having that cream of the crop times 100 everywhere. You know, that's powerful. And you want to talk about growing your business? That's how you grow your business, man. You got to surround yourself with like-minded folks. You know, this just like Jake into the fire movement, right? It really is, man. It's really
fire, that's right. So you've been, you know, 30 days in, you've been able to put some deals in the pipeline already?
We haven't skipped a beat, Vincent. We're closing 6 deals in June. We've already got 2 in the works for July, right? Haven't skipped a beat, you know. My team member is happy. I'm happy. You know, we're learning all this new ways of doing business, but it's great. You know, it's new, it's challenging, and that's how you grow, right?
Got some big partners coming on soon too, right? Not ready to.
You know, I don't want to get the cat out of the bag yet, but I do. I have some. Listen, I said it before, right? I'm not a recruiter, man. I don't do recruiting. I don't. You know, it's not in me. But this business model, man, it sells itself. I don't have. I have people coming to me asking me questions about this, you know, and I realize that a lot of the followers I have on social media, they were like, wait a second, you made the move to, wait a second, what's going on with EXP? I want to know. Now everybody's curious. Everybody wants to know, right? And I'm happy to share that, man. I'm happy to share that information with everybody, because it really is. It's a life, man. How can I say this? You know, when I joined the Marine Corps, this is how they got me into Marines, right? The recruiter goes, if you knew what you knew now 10 years ago, would you join that company? Well, yeah, of course. That's great, right? And that's how I feel with EXP. It's like, I wish I had known what I know now, like 3 years ago, you know?
Oh, yeah, we all do.
You know, that's the only regret. I wish I had done this sooner, because I can only imagine like where we would be at right now. But you know what? Everything happens for a reason. I'm set on this path right now, and that's the way it's supposed to be played out, right?
So earlier this week, I did an update for another team that we partnered with, and we did a 6-month update. And it was pretty cool, because in 6 months, what they did was they doubled the size of their group, right? They went from like 7 to 14. They increased their production year to date by 40%.
Amazing.
Okay. What are your expectations? What are your goals going forward?
Well, to be honest with you, stay on this track that we're in right now. And I feel that surrounding myself with everybody, learning so much more about the industry is just going to increase our footprint in our local market, expand my team, not only locally, but partner up with other agents from, you know, in different states, you know? So that's goal number one, is to grow my team 5+, right? You know, unfortunately, when I came over, I did have a team of 5, including myself. Not everybody came over, which, you know, it's not for everybody. I get it. But, you know, one team member came, and, you know, sometimes that's what you got to do as a leader. You just got to take a first foot forward and explore the new frontier, right?
So
and
that's interesting. If your team didn't come, why did you think it was still good for you?
my intuition, man, that spidey sense, that gut feeling, you know, that same feeling I had when I dropped everything from New York to come to Florida and start from zero. That same exact feeling I got, that say, this is the right, I'm telling you, man, I lost sleep. I was waking up in the middle of the night going, oh my God, no, I can't do this. I'm sticking where I'm at right now, right? I'm comfortable. Why am I going to, you know, I rattled my cage in the middle of a COVID pandemic, right? Mm-hmm. But it was a blessing in disguise, right? It put stuff into perspective. And, you know, my wife thought I was crazy. She's like, wait a second, you're leaving 100% brokerage to give an 80-20 split with a $16,000 cap. Blah, blah, blah. I was like, yeah, but listen, it's not about the money. Because if it was about the money, I would have stayed where I was at. There's more to this, man. There's more. My last brokerage, kudos to him, man. He rattled the industry locally, right? He was a disruptor, and I love that, right? And I got a good taste of that. Now I'm part of something bigger. We're going worldwide with this, man. We're disrupting the whole industry, right? And it's not. It's just common. It just makes sense, man. It just makes sense for me. You know, for me and my team. I can't speak for everybody else, but for me, the business model made sense. The numbers made sense. You know, aligning myself with folks like you and everybody else makes sense. There's so many things that made sense for me to join it. And
I just caught something that you just said, Alex. You said that if it was about the money, you would have stayed put. And right. I'd like to challenge that a little bit, because okay. You are an icon agent. Okay, you're going to achieve levels where you are going to earn all of the money that you paid into EXP Realty back in the form of company stock. Okay, in the last few days or in the last couple of weeks, you've seen what the stock has done, right?
It's crazy. I think when I joined, it was at $9.
Right.
Right. We're what, at almost 12?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? I mean, it's in the numbers, right? It's in the numbers. And when you joined, you were number what, 20,000? And that was a year ago, and we're over 30,000. And right. I was 28,000 and change. I don't know, right? But now we're over 30,000 less than a month. I mean, come on, man. And then the stocks are almost $12. It's a no-brainer. I mean, I'm not a stock analyst, right? But it's common sense, right? Okay, here's a company that has no debt, no brick and mortar, no franchise fees, no paying any higher up. They have a staff, small staff that they pay a salary, right? Which is normal, but there's no brick and mortar. There's no.
They have a staff of
500 or
500.
500.
Right, full-time employees there to support you, right?
Yeah.
So I used to have staff, and that was one of my highest expenses, right? And I could never get enough staff to cover all the support that was needed. So it's really nice to be able to have that at EXP Realty, right?
Sure.
So my thought is you will have more than 100%.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Absolutely, man.
Right. And I see it because your production is already at the right levels, and your group is growing right away. It's only been a month. You already have some.
It's only been a month, man. I know.
Right? So I want to ask you this. You mentioned it before. We have 30,000 agents at EXP Realty. Our 10-year goals at EXP Realty. We're looking right now. We're in 4 countries, right? United States, Canada, the UK, and Australia, right? So in 10 years, we're committed to opening up 40 countries and having 1 million agents. Right now, the stock is under $12.
Right.
What do you think it'll be when we're in 40 countries, when we have 1 million agents?
Man, dude, like I was telling you before, it's all in a black and white, right? They really don't have that much of an overhead. And this company is owned by us, the agents. So it motivates us to even do better, right? And work with each other, right? And there's no doubt. All right, for instance, right? I'm not a stock analyst, but I look at Redfin. Redfin's at $34 a share right now. Zillow's at $65 a share. You got Remax, I think it's like 28 or 30. We're only at $12. And correct me if I'm wrong, we just got onto the stock market, right? And the NASDAQ, 2 years ago? 2018?
2013.
2013, yeah. 2013. So only 7 years into it, man. And we've grown this fast. And this is a 10-year plan. There's no doubt that this will be competing our stock price with some of the heavy real estate brokerages. All right, here's my prediction. Maybe $100 or more. This is like the freaking Facebook of real estate, man. This is the Netflix. This is the Amazon of real estate. It's the concept, the technology. There's nothing else out there. I know there isn't. And people try, and I've never been with Keller Williams, right? But people try to compare that. It's apples and oranges, man. They have brick and mortars. They have, regional owners. We don't have any of that, man. All that revenue comes from the top down, not from the bottom up, right? That's what makes a huge difference in this business model. And to be honest with you, man, it's an exit strategy as well. I eat, sleep, breathe real estate. This is all I do. This is what I love to do, right? I love helping people. I love, the being part of their lives, their history, that I was there to help them find a house or sell their house, whatever it is. That's where I get the best kick out of it, right? It's priceless, that feeling. But man, I forgot my thought. I got so many things going on.
You said something about an exit strategy.
Exit strategy, right? So here's my exit strategy, right? Here's what I've noticed in common. This is the common denominator. What made me realize this is bigger than 100%, okay? The common denominator is when I leave a brokerage, I leave with nothing, man. I got to start all over again. I leave with these big franchise names, exit whatever, right? I leave with nothing. I start all over again. Okay. That, you gotta have a plan. You gotta have a plan, because without a plan, you're going to fail. Right. So what's my plan? Keep doing what I'm doing right now. Keep motivating my agents, keep pushing ahead, keep adapting to change, and you'll be rewarded, right? With the EXP, you'll be rewarded through, having ownership in a company through stocks, right? Having residual income coming in, because you bring in some folks, they tell some other folks, and it just revenue share, right?
Actually,
it does, man. It's a no-brainer. I don't have to explain this as much as me just showing. Look, they get it. People get it. again, you see it, it's hard to unsee it, man. You know, and here's the thing that stops a lot of people, right? You got to be careful with this one. Your ego is not your amigo, right? And that's what I loved about EXP. There's some heavy hitters in here, some really, really influencers like yourself, Vincent. You are a busy, busy guy. And for you to take time off to do this, it's priceless. And I really, really appreciate you, brother. I mean, this means a lot. But, you know, for you to get Chuck Fazio on for an hour with us, to get Veronica, to get these, you know, folks there to contribute their time, that means a lot, man. They put all that set aside, man. There is no ego. They're willing to share. You know, Veronica, she's like, hey, you need some of my, you know, team plays, or, you know, want to build your team. This is what I do to my team. You know, let's sit down and chat. I mean, that means a lot, dude. That means a lot,
right,
man.
Right.
You
That's
know,
how you level up.
Dude, I'm not trying to figure this out on my own. You know, that was a problem that not a problem, but, you know, again, I outgrew the last platform I was on. Last brokerage, I outgrew that platform. And, you know, here I am, you know, trying to, you know, figure out the marketing, you know, do this, do that. What's a great team structure? What's not a green team? How do I run that? I don't know. And, you know, it's like hitting my head on a wall, right? Why am I doing that when there's people out there that already done it? They're successful. Why not align myself with those folks so I can grow and learn, right? Because I thought I knew stuff, man. Yeah, I don't know shit right now, man, compared to these folks that are out there. I mean, it's amazing. Like I said, I feel like I just got my license yesterday, and it's all new to me, right? And I love that feeling. That's the feeling. That's the eye of the tiger, right? You got the eye of the tiger back, man. And it's I love it, man. I love it. I love that you really introduced me to this business model, and the fact that you, my friend, take time off, call me, you know, after 8, or we touch base. That means a lot, man. And we're talking business, right?
I enjoy it, man. I enjoy our conversations. So, you know, anytime, I'm happy to communicate with you.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. Thank you, Vincent.
So listen, what do you want to share with these guys? Israel. What do you want to share with these guys? You know,
like that is right.
Looking into EXP Realty right now.
All right. Personally, right, from my own experience, you got to let your guard down, man. Let your guards down, right? Don't listen to all the noise around you. Let your guard down. You do the numbers. You do the research. You go on YouTube. You listen from other folks. You figure out that common denominator and then weigh it out. Where you're at right now, does it make sense for me to grow and money-wise and all this? Can I benefit my customers? That's another huge reason that I joined here. Now, not only am I just 200 plus agents, I got 30,000 plus agents that I can, boom, I got a new listing, guys, help me out. You got anybody in California looking to move down to Florida, from New York down? And you sent me some referrals already, man.
Yeah. Right.
So it's put your guards down, have an open mind, talk to somebody who's at EXP. You know, I'm more than welcome to, I'll be more than happy to, you know, share my experience in one-on-one. I mean, look me up, alexnantes.com, right? And like you did for me, we get together with a bunch of like-minded folks to just share, not really be pushy salesman and try to recruit you over. It's not about that, man. It's about helping you out in the long run. This means more than just residuals and stock. I'm telling you, man, it's helping, and I'm talking to the audience, right? It's helping you. You got to help yourself. You know what? At the end of the day, you got to bet on yourself, right? You got to bet on yourself, because if you bet on yourself, you're going to be a winner, right? And I put my money where my mouth is, or I put my money where my mouth is, right? Whatever, right? I doubled down and I bought tons of stocks in EXP. I got like 3,000 shares of EXP, man, and I'm doing all right now, you know. And the fact you can get it at 10% discount, you know, from your commissions. I mean, there's so many ways, man. There's so many ways that, you know, you being an agent and thinking about making a move to EXP, just give it a chance to listen. That's it. It's not for you. It's not for you. Stay where you're at. You know, keep doing what you're doing. That's totally fine, man. But there's always something better. You know, You're never at the right place. It's never the best place. You know, you never know. Maybe 10 years, somebody else comes out with a better idea, right? I doubt it.
Right.
I mean,
But at least you've built 10 years of ownership then.
I got 10 years of ownership. That's right. I could look at my equities. I'm going, all right, well, if I have to leave, I'm not leaving with zero.
Mm-hmm.
I'm leaving with
big deal.
Big deal. That's a huge deal, man. That's a huge deal.
Right.
You know?
All right, Alex. I appreciate you. I'm looking forward to your success with EXP Realty. Thank you so much for sharing with everybody.
Thank you, Vincent.
Best of luck, my friend.
I look forward to give you my 6 month and my 1 year, my 10 year, my 20 year update. We'll be a little older, a little grayer, but it's all right. We'll still be doing this.
All right. Take care.
All right, my friend. Take care. Thank you.